What's up, guys? Clay's here.
And Chance.
And the Warriors just won their 4th championship in 8 years. This is a surreal moment for me. I've been saying since last summer that this is the championship I've wanted the most. And I had faith the whole year, but there were definitely times where I doubted. But we're here, and Chance can prove that I've been on this hype train for a bit now.
Without a doubt. And I want to mention real quick that this is kind of like an emergency episode right here, just to talk, just to celebrate for a minute. I'm only here because I live next door, but right now is just a moment for, honestly, Clay and the rest of the guys from the group. They're all supportive of this, and we're all excited for Clay because, like everybody has realized, he's a big, big Warriors fan. I mean, the man cried earlier. This is his 4th championship in 8 years.
Yeah.
He's spoiled as a fan, but you could tell this one really meant something, not only to him, but honestly, Stephen Curry.
Yeah, I mean, Steph was in tears, and I did not expect that from him.
He's never cried for any of the other three.
But I think this one, he knew what this meant for not only him and his teammates, but for his legacy. And, you wouldn't really expect to see Steph get in that kind of mood because he's always just that laid-back guy that's just a team player. But
he even alluded to it on the podium. He said that the talks, they did kind of creep in, and they heard the talks. But he never went into detail about what talks, but everybody knows the talks. The talks about how he had to get carried with all the other three. And
that KD came in and was the number one option.
KD rescued him, and KD was the team, and it wasn't Steph's team anymore. But if you ask anybody, that's a load of crap. KD will even tell you that.
Yeah, and you can see that the impact that Steph has on this team when he's up on the stage crying and as they're announcing the Finals MVP, and you see the rest of the team just get ecstatic for this moment.
MVP.
Yeah, like they just won the championship, but they know what this means for their teammate, for their leader, for their franchise. Like, this is everything.
And it was kind of a weird game for Steph, if we're being honest. Because this series, we kind of grew accustomed to him just coming out on fire. And he kind of came out slow tonight. And I'm not going to lie, one of the most impressive things tonight to me was the fact that he did not press early on in the game.
Yeah. And
he never seemed like he was about to make it that he's about to have to carry him, He kind of took the back seat for a little while. And it was nice to see, and it shows you the kind of star he is.
It was more of a normal Steph Curry game. Watching him over the past 10 years, it's been one of the greatest times of my life. And one of the things about him, he's not there to go out there and immediately just express who he is because he knows he's going to get his shots whenever he has to. So he likes to get Klay Thompson going, Andrew Wiggins going, even Looney or Otto Porter, whoever's starting. He tries to get them involved early because he knows come the end of the first or in that second quarter stretch, he's going to get his. Now, he does have his games where he goes crazy in the first quarter, and it's like, oh, wow, he's here, kind of like game one.
Mm-hmm.
But then you saw what happened the rest of the game. He kind of was a little bit quieter.
Yeah, this whole game kind of felt like a throwback. It felt like a blast from the past, and I don't know if it was because I actually watched it with you like I did in the past for the other championships, but it felt like it was 2018 all over again. Draymond being the driving force of the offense, It was just so weird to see because he had played so bad.
Yeah, washed up Draymond comes out here with a 12-point, 12-rebound, 8 assists, 2 steal, 2 block fest.
How many fouls did he have? 2?
He had one.
He had one foul. And it was a little iffy. It was that charge it was a block, but
from Horford, where Horford puts his shoulder into him.
Out of control.
Yeah,
but that tells you all that you need to know about Draymond.
He had 5 turnovers, but still, he played fantastic. Probably his best game of the playoffs. Literally, it was literally a throwback performance from him. Steph, 34 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 12 for 21 shooting, 6 for 11 from 3. He was
unanimous MVP.
Yeah, he was Steph Curry. He played like he wanted this. And we also had, as a team, 41% from 3, 19 for 46, which we finally got to our average. We've been shooting below average the whole series, yet still winning games. And as we mentioned on the pod, I think
if you listen to the podcast, we talked about this.
Either episode 2 or 3, we mentioned the Warriors are shooting below average, but it's going to happen at some point. They're going to become who they are.
Its level.
Yeah.
It always does.
The Celtics were shooting absurd on wide open threes. Warriors were shooting abysmal. And they came out tonight, and it was a totally different game.
If we're being honest, the Celtics still shot pretty well. 11 for 28, that's 39.3%, but still, I think anything above the mid-30s is good from three, especially in this game when you shoot as many, So they didn't shoot bad necessarily, but I think the thing that killed them tonight was the turnovers.
Yeah, they had 22 turnovers, and I think they had 23. They had a stat where if they hit 16 turnovers, they were, I believe, 1-12 coming into tonight. But if they were under 16 turnovers, they were like 80% chance of winning. So that 16 mark was something that a lot of people, even on the TV, Mike Breen, he would mention that 16 is that magic number. Well, they hit that pretty easily tonight.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. It was a game. I was worried a little bit. They came out with that 12-2 start or 14-2 start.
Everybody knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
They weren't going to come out and just lay down immediately.
Yeah, and that took the veteran experience of the Warriors to just show that we've been here before. We know what happens. We can handle this blow, and they did. And I believe it went from a 14-2 start for the Celtics to a 52-25 run by the Warriors.
Which started off with a 21-0.
Yes, yeah, we had.
Which then grew into 52-12.
Yeah, I believe it was Steph Curry 3, Otto Porter 3. Steph Curry 3, Otto Porter 3. It just we were hitting a lot of threes early on, and as well as we shot, we still had a stretch where I think we missed like 11 in a row until Wiggins made one finally. And Andrew Wiggins, I can't say enough about him.
The Maple Mamba.
Yeah, Maple Mamba, Maple Jordan, whichever one you want to call him. I remember the second that we traded D'Angelo Russell for him. I was in between classes at Tech. I was at Doghouse eating, and it was a trade deadline. And I get the message on my phone that we traded for Wiggins. And I remember texting Chance.
I believe we texted about this.
Yeah, I said, if Wiggins has been getting his as a number one option, there's not going to be a better place for him than as a number two option behind Steph and Clay. And if he's ever going to be a really successful player in the NBA, it's going to be in Golden State. And now he comes out here and was our second best player throughout the entire playoffs, and it's not even close to me. A couple more things. Gary Payton II. My God, I love that man. He had 5 fouls tonight. But
I wish he'd shooting the open shots.
Tonight he was 2 for 6, 0 for 2 from 3. But in the past, he has had some big games where he's shot some threes. I believe
he knows his role.
Against the Nuggets, or maybe early on against the Grizzlies, he had like 21 points, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I saw a statistic today that he's like the number one cutter in the NBA. Like,
he's always open.
Like per cut, he gets like 1.3 points a game, per cut, which is like
insane.
Yeah, insane.
And that 2 for 6 is kind of like deceiving as well because he missed a couple.
He missed a couple layups, yeah. Which, just shout out to Robert Williams. He was.
Oh my gosh!
As I said,
driving
early on, he was the most impactful Celtic by far in my eyes, and that became more and more evident as the series went on. I know he was injured. He had to get his knee drained, I believe, between every game. He would get it drained, but I think they came in tonight saying he was 100%.
They did. They said as close as 100% as he's going to be.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, obviously he was hurt, but everyone is at this time.
And he's good. He made him a lot of money.
Yeah.
This series.
Fantastic basketball player. He takes away every bit of the paint there is.
Shoot, he took away 3-pointers.
Yeah, he blocked a Jordan Poole 3 on a step back.
Yeah. He affects whoever he is near. 3-point shooter, driving to the hole, it doesn't matter. He's effective.
So many people
insane. He's only 6'9".
Yeah. So many people call Rudy Gobert I think his nickname's the Stifle Tower. Mm-hmm. And he's won a couple Defensive Player of the Years. They say he's better than Draymond, everything like that. Robert Williams is
better than Draymond.
No. Better than Draymond? No. Williams is better than Rudy Gobert, easily
Robert Williams
defensively.
is top 3 defensive player in probably the league.
The effect that he has on the game is insane. Whenever we play the Jazz and play Rudy, they try to play under on Steph, and Steph just plays Rudy off of the floor. Robert Williams, if he was healthy, he probably would have played every minute he could.
And he would have probably played up. He probably would have played a little bit more off, and you would have had to played Horford on him. So
and
oh my gosh,
I really don't know what the game plan was for the
They
Celtics.
should just put him in a rolling chair or something out there because he was useless.
Yeah, the Celtics, they got it to within, I think, 6 or 8 points.
I will say
he
was a key part of that. That the man was lights out tonight from 3. For being honest, I told you every time he got open in that corner, I said that's it. Before he even shot it.
4 for 5 from 3, 6 for 8 from the field, 14 rebounds to go along with 19 points.
And if we're being honest, good for him.
Yeah.
He had a great series.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to...
He's a vet. It's hard to go against him. Yeah, he had a couple of borderline dirty plays.
Yeah, he tried to take out every player of the big 3, but it's all right. Yeah.
But the man, he came out ready. But I did think it was kind of weird in the opening 2 minutes of the game. He gets that block on whoever it was. Oh, no, it wasn't a block. He got that later. There was
a rebound that went out on
that bounced off the Warriors to retain, for the Celtics to retain.
He was really happy.
You would have thought that they just forced Game 7 or something. It was insane. I was thinking right then, I'm not going to lie to you, I thought, okay, the moment might be too big for him. Like he's thinking that all these things matter, but I'll tell you what, he proved me wrong.
He played his best game since Game 1.
He was the best Celtic tonight, in my opinion, besides Jaylen Brown.
Well, you see, I didn't even realize Jaylen Brown had 34.
I just noticed he had 34.
That's insane. And I know we did a really good job of defending him.
It was
series.
An extremely quiet 34.
Yeah,
it must have been really spread out. I'm about to look at that.
Man, those turnovers are insane.
3 of their top guys had at least 3 or 4.
5 for Brown, 5 for Tatum, 3 for Horford, 3 for Smart. You can't win games like that. And for everything that you hear about the Celtics, like coming into this series, you hear about their lockdown defense, which didn't hold us under 100 points. We held them.
Their defense ain't that good.
We held them under 104 times the series. Yeah. So who's the all-time defense now?
So Jaylen Brown went 7 in the first quarter. I don't know if this app's going to show me free throws. I'm just looking at dots that are circled or colored. 7 in the first quarter, 5 in the second. It looks like 9 in the third. And then in the fourth, he had 8.
Oh, were teams shooting free throws before the fourth quarter tonight? I thought we had 3 free quarters or something. The Warriors only got to shoot 2, so I thought there was like a different rule for Game 6.
So his scoring was kind of spread out and wasn't really ever like a moment.
He never
really went on a run.
When they went on that run at the beginning of the fourth, I believe, or late third, he had a couple of them threes where
sprinkled in a couple. So did Horford though. And like I said, it was very quiet. It wasn't near as loud as Steph's 34, which most of his came in that third
or Horford's 19.
Which yet again, coming back to vintage Warriors, whenever they just dominate a third quarter.
Well, we lost it. 27-22.
That's when they made the run.
Yeah, we lost it towards the end.
They might have lost the quarter, but they made the run there.
Yeah.
To kind of, that's when Steph started holding up his ring finger, started pointing at it.
Yeah. When you get Steph Curry in that kind of mood, you're in trouble.
Steph was over here saying it was over when the 18 minutes left in the game.
I truly don't understand the Celtics game plan in that fourth quarter. They acted as if Steph Curry just cannot drive the basketball. And whenever you put Al Horford on him, whenever you put Robert Williams, Grant Williams.
What was that saying that Mark Jackson says? It's that dancing one. You said it in the middle of the game.
What was it?
May I have this dance?
Yeah, may I have this dance? Whenever he's ISOing him, Yeah, I mean, that's by far one of his most undervalued skills is his driving ability, and I think Mark Jackson even said that tonight. Whenever his shots aren't falling, which his threes were falling tonight, finally. And I think everyone expected that. But he knows how to get to the rim and finish through every contact you can freaking imagine because he has the worst whistle in the NBA, as I always say. To go on to some more things, we had Jordan Poole with some really big shots tonight. 15 points for the youngin. He's, He's the future, I guess you could say. He's the guy that everyone thinks is taking over for the Steph or the Clay or I expect a big season out of him next year. He's going to be on his team option, probably get an extension this summer. He's going to be really expensive though.
You were talking about Jordan Poole. I'm on my phone. I'm just
Jordan Poole.
You said they got the bird rights to him though, so that's going to
because we draft our players. We don't trade.
Yes,
The only player we traded for that played tonight was Wiggins.
You remember that draft night? You told me on draft night he might be good.
Who, Poole?
Yeah.
Well,
I remember that. And he had a good game tonight, though.
Yeah, 15. I mean, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. It's not bad for him.
It was honestly probably his best game of the series. He felt like
game two, he had that third quarter where he was pretty much sealed the game, where the NBA put out the Finals MVP ladder and had him as number 2, which was ridiculous.
Was that when Horford was 1?
No, it was when Steph was 1 because we'd won the latest game. But yeah, Jordan Poole, he's going to make him some money, and hopefully it's in San Francisco.
I'm ready to see if they develop him into more of a defender.
Well, he's going to have something.
Yeah, I mean, he can't just be a James Harden and jack it up all game,
And the thing is,
that's not Warriors basketball.
The thing about him,
he's the black sheep on the team. If you think about it,
what, defensively,
and really as a player, because he's more of a
give me the ball,
give me the ball. I'm going to ISO you. I'm going to do the James Harden type step backs with a lot of flair. And that's not. Yeah, they're kind of exuberant, I guess is the word. I don't know if that's a word, honestly. Yeah. It's really late. I'm sleepy. But he's not very flashy. I mean, he's very flashy.
Yeah, the rest of the team isn't.
The rest of the team is like borderline.
We play that Spurs basketball.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Steve Kerr, Greg Popovich tree.
Yes.
But yeah, Jordan Poole, he played really well tonight. I'm expecting him to re-sign with us and probably get 4 years, $80 million, somewhere around there.
Is Wiggins still under contract for another year?
Wiggins will get one more year,
and he'll probably be gone, huh?
You see, that's
they're not going to be able to afford him unless they raise the tax.
We can afford whatever we want because we have the Birds.
What about we have Bird? They have Bird on Wiggins because
they traded for him, and there's a certain time in the contract. Yeah. Yeah, that's the good thing about not just signing a team.
That's that next level NBA GM crap. That bird rules and stuff. That stuff is hard to understand.
Yeah, and well, that's the thing that not many teams get to utilize because you just draft your teams. I mean, you don't draft your teams. Yeah. You sign them like LeBron.
And you talking about that y'all are gonna be able to afford them. Joe Lacob he shows that he cares about winning.
Oh yeah, they said they're going to pay the tax.
He's going to pay whatever he has to. So
shout out to that idiot Brian Windhorst who called our last game a checkbook win.
Brian Windhorst needs to realize he only has a job at ESPN because he covered LeBron in high school.
That
is seriously the only reason he has a job. Yeah. And if you notice, ever since LeBron has kind of faded a little bit, so has Brian Windhorst on that television.
Oh, LeBron doesn't like the man.
Nobody likes the man. He's a bump on a log.
Yeah.
I saw him on TV this morning for really the first time in a minute.
Yeah.
And I don't really watch SportsCenter like I used to, but that man used to live on the TV
Yeah,
screen.
I mean, like during free agency, he's one of the 2 or 3 guys that's on like the marathon.
Besides Woj,
Yeah.
And he's on the run on the one of the main guys because LeBron's getting new players every year.
Yeah.
He's gonna know he's gonna be tied to it.
Yeah.
But that dude's a freaking joke. But shout out Tim Legler. He's an actual NBA columnist.
Yeah, he's been a big Warriors guy all year. He really hasn't doubted us, which I believe Stephen A. Smith predicted us to win it all at the beginning of the year as well. There's been some crazy predictions that people made in the
a lot of people have been on Twitter today, especially after halftime, kind of saying that Stephen A. Smith's like been jumping on the bandwagon and stuff like that.
He was on us early, but then this series he was kind of iffy, saying he was really hard on Draymond, saying that he just was not showing up.
He hadn't. Draymond played 1.5 good games. I wouldn't count that last game. I wouldn't count Game 5 as even a real Draymond. He was half of one.
Well, game 4
was a borderline triple double every game. That's Draymond.
Game 4 he was okay at the end, I believe. But yeah, he wasn't himself this series, and
Yeah, he still had 5 turnovers tonight, but still.
But I don't care about
that's Warriors basketball too.
I don't care about turnovers as a Warriors fan.
They're going to overpass. That's just how it is.
Yeah, for every turnover we also have one incredibly well-made 3-point shot. Like you give and you take. But some other Warriors that I just want to acknowledge, I guess, Andre Iguodala, who I believe
assistant coach Andre Iguodala.
Yeah, pretty much. I really hope he's on the team at some form to go along with the Sean Livingston, Zaza Pachulia, Leandro Barbosa. You know, it's a culture that we have and that everyone loves and sticks around for.
And you're already losing 2 assistant coaches.
Yeah, we have Kenny Atkinson and Mike Brown going to be head coaches for the Hornets and the Kings. And you're
emptying the cupboard.
Yeah, pretty much. I was hoping we were going to get Luke Walton, but he's, I believe, signed with the Cavs. Yeah.
Almost itself.
Yeah, Iggy, I believe, will be back in some form. He loves the Bay Area. He's big into investments and stocks and stuff like that. So the Silicon Valley area, he's a big part of, and you can see the mentorship that he brought to the team.
Especially after Gary Payton made that stupid decision.
GP had a bad foul, and he goes up to him, and he just gets onto him. And he was also a big part of what transformed Wiggins, him and Dre.
And it was evident on the screen that they respect his decision.
It's hard not to respect him.
Payton gave his opinion back, you can tell, but that's good, though. You got to have that dialogue.
I mean, that's what they do. They talk to each other like that.
That's coaching. Iggy told Payton what he thought. Payton probably tried to explain it, and then Iggy had the final word, which is what coaching is. And I guarantee he's going to be a coach next year for him.
I mean, if he's
not, they were stupid.
Yeah, when you have Iggy and Dre, you have that type of hard coaching where they just tell you what you did wrong and want you to respond with something. Like try to say that they're wrong. Mm-hmm. They're begging for that. A couple other guys.
Game 6 Clay did not show up, by the way, everybody.
Yeah,
if you're listening.
Yeah.
Game 6 Clay shot 5 for 20, 2 for 8 from 3 with 12 points. But hey, he's a 4-time world champion now, so I don't think he really cares.
The last 6 seasons that he's played, he's made it to the finals. So I'll say that.
That's all he knows.
Yeah, and I kind of expected that kind of game from Clay tonight. I didn't expect him to. Whenever I wake up, I have feelings of what's going to happen for the team, and I never had that big feeling for Clay today. I think there was a little bit too much talk of Game 6 Clay, not only from the Dirty Boot Sports podcast, but from everyone in the world. They were just too excited for it. It just felt like it was going to be a little bit on the lower level. But, hey, he's got plenty of other games that you can go watch and see the brilliance of Klay Thompson. A couple other guys, Otto Porter Jr., who came in on the either the mid-level exception or the minimum and gave us an incredible season. He really fit the culture. He's a just good guy. Plays some good basketball, can play a couple different positions.
He's only 29 as well.
Yeah, I mean, he was a number 3 pick in
he was a top 3 or 5 pick.
2013, I believe, or 2014.
Is that the Wizards?
Yeah, Wizards, 3rd overall. He'd gotten his big contract, so he kind of took that advantage to ring chase a little bit. Hit 2 really timely threes tonight.
He did. He really did.
I think he's hurt, though. He sprained his foot last series.
Wiggins was 4 for 9 from 3 tonight.
Yeah.
It felt a lot less than that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He hit him at the end. But, yeah, Otto, I'd love to have him back, but I think he's going to be a little bit out of our price range this year because, like I've said,
he's a good role.
The looming Poole extension and Gary Payton II is finally going to get an NBA contract that's more than the minimum at the age of, I believe, 29.
So he's the same age as Otto Porter.
Yeah. And this is his first time being on a season, being on a team the entire season.
And he was hands down probably the second best defender. I would have projected him to be the first best defender, but I think he's still a little banged up too.
Who, GP?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's gonna link.
He was probably the third tonight or the series.
All playoffs that he played.
Wiggins was the best consistently.
Yeah, you have to give Wiggins
and then
the
it's
first best.
GP and Dre. Dre had some downers, but GP also had a couple games this series where he just wasn't himself.
I texted a buddy I coached with that's also a big time Warriors fan, and I was like, dude, Wiggins just shut down every star that they played. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I love Jason Tatum at Duke, but he's not a star yet.
No,
he's not that.
Well, you can give him star.
I mean, when I'm saying star, I mean superstar.
He's not superstar.
He's not in that upper echelon with Giannis, Joel Embiid, Luka, Ja, Steph. He's not that.
Jokic.
Tatum never scared me.
No,
never scared.
As I've said, the entire series, I believe you can go back to one of the earlier episodes. I said, make Jason Tatum beat us shooting, because once he sees a couple shots go in, as he did today, he went 3 for 6 in the first quarter, and then he closes out the game 3 for 12. Once he gets a couple shots in, he just feels like he's the king of the world, and he plays hero ball.
And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm glad the Warriors won, but I'm mostly glad that I'm not going to have to see him talking about Kobe Bryant anymore.
Yeah, it's a bit played out.
I get he loves Kobe. Everybody loved Kobe except for Shaq for a little while. It happens.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody loves Kobe. But the man drug it out. I was expecting to have the purple sweatband on him.
Yeah, tonight.
I was surprised he didn't. And maybe he knew deep down he's really not that guy.
he knew what Wiggins was doing.
He thought he was going to have some Mamba mentality stuff going on. But if he thinks he's anywhere near Kobe, I want him to know that he probably disappointed Kobe, because he did not show Mamba mentality at all in this finals.
No, he did not.
He did not. He did not at all. But it was a great series. It really was.
Yeah, and people are complaining.
I think the Celtics were a worthy opponent.
People were complaining because there was no game within 10 points.
But if you watch the game,
exactly.
I even commented to you, I think it was like in the second quarter, I was like, it feels like the Warriors are losing.
Yeah, we were up 10.
By 10.
Yeah.
It felt like they were losing because the Celtics just always felt like they were there.
Yeah, they always answer, and you know
they were going to have another run.
Yeah, I mean, in our group chat, we were up 21 points.
And Peyton turned on golf.
Yeah, Peyton's like, it's over.
He's watching the Live Tour right now doing something. And he's like, it's over, guys.
And I'm over here like, no, it's not. A lot of ball game.
Too. Tyler, when I talk about it.
A lot of ball game left. So, yeah, a couple other guys I do want to shout out. Juan Toscano Anderson. He's
the first and only
Mexican player in the NBA, and he's now an NBA champion.
Wears brother-in-law over here, Damian Lee.
Yeah, Juan wears number 95 because he grew up on 95th Street in Oakland. So it's a really awesome story.
After being born in Mexico. Obviously.
Yeah, and he's really, really awesome story. Became a big fan favorite last year during the, I guess, down year. But he's a guy that he's near that age of GP as well, where he's about 28, 29, just looking for a shot. Made the team last year, and he's like an emotional leader. He's our bench guy. He's always up every play, and he also has like this weird role of being like a defensive closer for quarters, where if there's like a 10 seconds left or less in the first quarter, he'll run in for Steph, make sure Steph don't get a foul. Juan plays solid defense, and throughout the year, he did that a lot, and there'd be a lot of times where he'd force a turnover. Like he's a good ball player. I hope we get to have him back in some form next year, because he ain't going to require a lot of money, and he's just a guy that you love to be on your team. Also, the two rookies, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody. It's awesome for them.
Going to take a step next year, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome for them to take this in the first year of their careers.
You were talking earlier, I think it's before the recording, about the bench depth next year, about who you're losing.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to lose Otto. There's no reason why Kuminga cannot step into that role.
Yeah, I mean, given what we had tonight, I think we still have Drake, Steph, Clay, obviously. Wiggins will be back. JP will be back. Loon will be back, of course. And then you're looking at bringing in GP again. I hope we can, but God, he played some good defense, so he might get that bag from someone else.
Yeah, I could see like a bad team,
like the
Hornets,
or
the Pistons.
Someone that just wants that defensive presence.
Yeah, and just them going after a name.
But he's mentioned. I mean, he's mentioned his love for the Bay so much.
Yeah.
A very really cool story about him. At the beginning of the year, it was between him and Avery Bradley to make the team, and Avery Bradley was winning it out a little bit, and so they like tell GP that he's getting cut. It was right before the season started. I think they ended up cutting both of them and leaving a spot open. And GP had calls from other teams to come to their team, and he said no. And he instead was going to stop playing basketball and transition into a video coordinator for the Warriors.
Wow.
Because he wanted to be a Warrior that bad.
That's insane.
Yeah, he loved that team and the culture.
The culture.
And he was going to just not go and play for whatever other team was wanting him and just be a video coordinator, stick around with the team, try next year.
I think it's also telling guys like Sean Livingston, not really necessarily Zaza Pachulia because he didn't really do nothing anywhere else, but Sean Livingston was kind of an NBA, kind of like journeyman at times. And Leandro Barbosa, they're both back with the Warriors.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me they couldn't get a coaching job or play the
front office
job
guy,
anywhere else? No. They wanted to come back. Yeah. And that tells you about the culture.
Retire 34, Bob. I want it retired.
I'm telling you, there's no other shot, not even a Steph 3 wide, butt naked open, I have more confidence in than Sean Livingston driving to the baseline and hitting a little
15-footer
fadeaway over whoever.
Yeah.
Back to the basket.
With his 6'7" frame, he'll put it up and he'll go in every time.
That dude right there, man. Yeah. It's one of the best shots of basketball.
Sean. Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Really underappreciated during that first 4 years of the Warrior run, or 5 years.
And the thing with that was, I remember watching, it was like they basically changed identities. Whenever he would have to come in for Steph, they changed their whole identity. It became more of a mid-range drive to the whole team.
And that's kind of what what you can see Jordan Poole do this year. Yeah, Jordan Poole gets a lot of expectations of just being that flashy guy that's throwing up threes, but he's really, really good at driving to the rim. And he has some of the craziest finishes you'll ever see. He really crafty around the rim and hits reverse layups, Euro steps, floaters, crazy stuff like that. And he whenever he comes in the game, I'm yelling drive. Mm-hmm. As you heard it tonight.
Yep.
I mean, Jordan Poole, I think he can be that Sean Livingston for the next 5 years.
Let me ask you this before we close this out, because we're going to talk more about this tomorrow whenever
we're already 30 minutes in.
Yeah, we need to kind of cut it off. Let me ask you this. Who are you the most excited for here? And I'll give you my answer after you answer. Most excited for them winning this championship. And you can't say Steph Curry.
I wasn't. I have a ton of excitement for Juan, but I'm not going to say him because he didn't play.
He didn't play.
Out of the guys that played tonight, Andrew Wiggins.
That's my answer as well. That man, if he would have been drafted any other year, okay, he got drafted with Jabari Parker, correct? Yeah. If he would have been drafted with like the Jason Tatum draft, and he would have been Markelle Fultz instead of Jason Tatum, or had a Jason Tatum-like guy that turned out to be pretty good in the NBA.
Who went 3 that year?
I can't remember, but I know those were the top.
Was it Embiid? It was, because they were teammates.
It was Embiid.
They were teammates. Embiid went 3.
All right, so...
But Embiid had 4 years where he didn't touch the floor.
You can't really count Embiid.
Yeah.
If he had been drafted any other year, we've been hearing bust, 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 bust. You know, and you kind of heard murmurs.
Oh, you absolutely heard it.
And I'm not going to lie, I thought he was a bust too. And like you said, though, I remember you texted me that day when they traded for him. You were like, he's always had to be the number one option. That's obviously not him.
I mean, he had Cat for a little bit. He had Zach LaVine for a little bit.
But he had Cat Young and when LaVine was not a basketball player.
And Wiggins, they gave him the ball and told him score 23.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the vet.
I wanted him to come in and score 15 and play defense.
And you could tell he just always felt comfortable.
Yeah.
He plays such a pure game.
Yeah, mid-range game.
I've watched a few games this year, but not, of course, I didn't watch them all like you did. But I watched most of the playoff games, and he is like a throwback too, kind of. He just plays pure basketball, and it's so nice.
And he never gets above the straight level. He's never emotional.
Never up or down.
He got emotional like 2 times the entire playoffs when he dunked on Luka and when he dunked on Derek White last game. Yeah. Like Steph and Draymond and Clay, they're telling him, please yell. Please.
You can tell that Bob Myers understands what he has to build the team with around Draymond.
Yeah.
I mean, love him or hate him, he's going to be that fiery guy.
Yeah.
That's why you have to have the quieter people like him Steph's kind of quiet. He's kind of coming out of his shell recently, but I think that's because
Boston made him mad.
Yeah, and I think that's because of the legacy talk too.
And because Ayesha Curry can't cook.
She can't. There's no way she can.
I'm sure
she cooks at the house. No way. I'm with Boston. She can't.
Or does she have restaurants opened up in San Francisco?
If she ain't made Steph Curry, or if Steph Curry never wins that first ring, nobody knows what that chick's name, man. They don't. They don't do it. But you saw they built the team with the quieter guys. That's nice to see because you have to balance out Draymond.
Yeah, and that's something with our two draft picks.
He really didn't cry a whole lot tonight to the referees. It was weird.
Because he knew he was controlling the game.
Yeah, it was really strange. So that's kind of how you could tell that
he's locked in.
He's methodical when he does that stuff with the refs.
And one foul.
One foul's insane.
That he played a defensive masterclass.
I bet you he has probably played less than 10 games in his career with less than 2 fouls.
Yeah, it's probably very low.
Is there like a basketball savant or something?
Basketball reference.
We need to look that crap up after this.
I'll look it up for tomorrow.
I you it's less than 10.
Yeah, and that's something, talking about Wiggins being that quieter guy, that's something that Kuminga and Moody are as well, our 2 draft picks from last year. They're just level-headed guys, good head on their shoulders, and they're going to play good basketball for us. And as I can get into another time when we have some more downtime on the pod, I think they're going to take a big step up next year and help Draymond and Clay kind of ease into their older age. And they're not going to be young forever, as you could tell this whole playoff series.
They both showed age.
Well,
Steph never showed age. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Draymond to me showed age, and Clay, I don't think we can judge him until next year after a regular offseason.
I think he's going to be better next year.
Draymond, man, he's not that same Draymond where I feel comfortable or I ever felt comfortable with him grabbing the rebound and pushing it. Like that old Draymond, where he would grab that rebound and they'd go full speed.
Yeah.
I never felt comfortable with him doing that. And I don't know if that's because of the Boston defense that was supposedly so good, but gave over 100 every game, or if it was the fact that he's kind of slowing down. And especially the way he plays, man, his age is getting to him.
Yeah, and I think
he's got some miles on them knees.
Well, and I think that's one of the things. The past 2 years, we didn't play past mid-May. Yeah. And this year we had that long run to the end of to mid-June that it's grueling. Like we did it 5 years in a row, and we saw the effects it had on our team.
Yeah.
And he didn't have that this year, and which he also had a lot of injuries he went through, like a herniated disc, like some stuff that was serious and knocked him out for a long time. And I really think that Kuminga's going to help step up a little bit, take some minutes off of Dre during the regular season, where, as we've seen, doesn't really matter. And Moody's going to do the same for Clay. They're both going to have their rest nights, as they should. They deserve it. 4-time champions. But, I really think that next year's going to be an awesome year for us. Big Jim's coming back. I'm so excited for him. And it was awesome seeing him just smiling on stage. That's James Wiseman, if anyone
Big
Jim.
Jim.
Yeah, I call him Big Jim.
Bob Fitzgerald that calls him that.
I love Bob Fitzgerald. Yeah, I love this team. I don't really know what else to say tonight. I'm about to go watch every bit of post-game conference there is, every bit of celebration. I've missed a lot of it recording this emergency pod that all the boys were really wanting me to do. So,
yeah, and guess what, guys? Tomorrow he gets to record in uniform, and everybody on the podcast can see him in complete uniform with the black headband on. So
might not take this uniform off till after the parade. I don't know. We'll see.
It's a long sleeve shirt, by the way.
Yeah, don't know why I even have this, but I don't wear long sleeves, and it just felt right, and I rolled with it this playoffs, and man, did it work. But yeah, I think that's it for tonight. I went about 40 minutes on this, as I expected.
We wanted 15.
Yeah, we wanted about 15, but I expected to do this. I'm very passionate about this team.
And I'm not going to lie, I enjoy watching it too.
Yeah, they're exciting.
You know, I'm a huge Duke fan, and Duke has always been pretty known for shooting the ball well and facilitating the ball, not really ISO. And I remember watching my first couple of Warriors games with you a couple years ago, and I was like, man, this feels like I'm watching the Duke Blue Devils play right now.
They play basketball a different way.
To watch.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch. So,
Yeah. So
Good
go
talk.
Warriors. I mean,
Ready to dive into this some more tomorrow night.
I feel amazing. I've been wanting this for, what was it, 1,000 days.
And this one has to feel better.
It's the best feeling I've had. Which, I mean, it's been 3 years, and there were so many bad days for the team. I mean, getting that Klay Thompson news on draft night with our second overall pick, and you're like, this is supposed to be the moment where we get back into contention, and he just tore his Achilles, and we just reset everything. It's been a long 2 years. Yeah, it's crazy to say that after the 5 years before that we had, but man, it feels good. So yeah, I think that's it for tonight.
I got to educate the youth of America more.
Go Warriors! We're 2022 champions.
And hey, chop on, go Braves! We're still winning. We got up to 14-game win streak, so we'll talk more about them tomorrow as well.
All right,
great pod.